This is the Epson Home Cinema 2350 projector, and my first thought was how bright and colorful it looks in a normal living room. I set it up on a shelf, pointed it at a 100-inch screen, and the picture punched through evening lamps and a bit of window glow without losing color. That's the 3-chip 3 LCD engine doing its thing, equal color and white brightness at a claimed 280 lumens, so reds, greens, and blues stay saturated instead of turning pastel. I also don't see any rainbow flashes on fast pans, which I'm sensitive to on single-chip DLP units. If you've ever noticed color streaks while darting your eyes across a scene, you'll appreciate that they're absent here. From my experience, setup is pretty friendly thanks to the vertical lens shift. There's a small dial that physically moves the image up or down, so I didn't have to tilt the projector or rely on digital keystone. That keeps edges straight and text clean. The manual zoom and focus rings are simple, but I did wrestle with precise focus. I could get the center tack sharp, then the corners looked a bit soft. If I tuned for the corners, the center would soften slightly. After about 20 minutes of warm-up, I also noticed a tiny shift in focus and had to nudge the ring again. Not a deal breaker, but it became a habit. Power on, set focus, start a show, and revisit focus once the optics settle. Key features that mattered to me. The 4000 PRO-UHD pixel shifting makes 4000 movies and games look much crisper than 1080p, even if it isn't native 4000. If you're new to pixel shifting, think of it like the projector rapidly nudging each pixel to create more detail than the physical panel alone. On a couch at 10 feet, I can't see pixel structure, and textures look convincingly detailed. It supports HDR10 and HLG, which means high dynamic range content gets more punch in highlights and richer gradations in color. In my opinion, HDR looks best in a dim room with the lamp on a brighter mode. You'll see specular highlights pop, though black levels are more dark gray than inky black. If you're aiming for moody, cinematic nights, a gray screen or some ambient light control helps. Gaming is where this unit earns the Smart Gaming badge. Input lag feels very low. Aiming and camera movement are responsive and don't have that mushy delay older projectors show. I measured responsiveness by pure feel in a shooter and a racer, and it lines up with the sub-20 ms claim at 1080p/60. There's also a 120Hz mode at 1080p, and when I fed it 120 FPS, the motion looked buttery with less blur on quick pans. Setting that up took a bit of tinkering. My console needed to be set to 1080p, and I had to adjust the color format to reduce bandwidth, think YUV420 instead of full RGB. Once dialed in, it was excellent. Just note you're choosing between 4000 at lower frame rates or 1080p at 120Hz. It doesn't do 4120. Android TV is built in via a streaming stick that tucks into a hidden bay in the back. The clean look is nice, and it boots straight into apps like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney+, YouTube, and more. Voice search works well. I did run into the reality that the stick takes up one of the HDMI ports, which leaves only one easy external HDMI input for a console or player. With two consoles, I added an HDMI switch. In my opinion, two open HDMI ports would make life simpler, but I get why Epson hid the stick to keep cables tidy. On the audio side, the 10W speaker is okay for casual viewing, clear enough for dialogue but thin on bass. I quickly moved to external sound. Bluetooth audio works with Android TV apps, but it does not pass audio from HDMI sources. For consoles, I routed audio another way, and when I used Bluetooth from Android TV, I had to tweak audio delay to clean up lip sync. Noise and heat are part of the trade-off with a bright lamp-based projector. In brighter modes, the fan is audible. During quiet scenes, I could hear it, so for dramas, I used Eco mode, which drops the noise to hush but dims the image. For sports, animation, and games where soundtracks mask the fan, I used brighter modes. The airflow design shoots warm air forward, which is great for mounting near a wall, but if the projector sits on a coffee table in front of you, you'll feel the breeze. Give it generous clearance. In a warm room during long sessions, I saw a heat warning once and learned to keep airflow unobstructed. Picture quality has a very big screen energy. Colors are lively, skin tones look natural after a quick tweak to color temperature, and sharpness is strong for a pixel shifter. Black levels are the main limitation. Space scenes and letterbox bars red as dark gray, especially in a fully dark room. I was happier watching in controlled ambient light or with a lower gain screen to help deepen blacks. Motion handling at 24p is smooth enough without soap opera effect if you leave interpolation off. The hardware itself is compact and light at around 9 pounds, and the white matte finish blends into a living space. The controls on top are straightforward. The remote is simple and gets the job done, but it isn't backlit, which led to some fumbling in the dark. For me, that's a small annoyance I got used to. From my experience, the sweet spot for this projector is mixed living room use, sports, streaming, colorful animation, and modern gaming. It's perfect for someone who wants a bright picture that cuts through ambient light and cares about fast response for 60 FPS or 120 FPS play. I'd recommend this for families and gamers who value color, brightness, and ease of streaming more than deep black levels. If you're a cinephile chasing reference darkroom contrast and edge-to-edge optical uniformity, you'll want to look higher up the range or into laser units with better optics and black level performance. Also, if you rely on multiple HDMI sources, plan for a switch or reclaim the hidden HDMI by moving the Android TV stick externally. A few quick clarifications for newcomers. 3LCD means it uses 3 separate LCD chips for red, green, and blue, so colors are shown all at once, no color wheel, no rainbow artifacts. 4000 PRO-UHD is Epson's term for pixel-shifted 4000. It isn't native 4000 panels, but it looks significantly sharper than plain 1080p. Input lag is the delay between pressing a button and seeing it on screen. Under 20 ms feels tight for most players. HDR10 and HLG are high dynamic range formats. You get more highlight detail and richer colors, but in a projector, ambient light and screen choice still matter a lot. In my opinion, Epson nailed the fun factor. The 2350 is bright, colorful, and responsive. The compromises are clear: focus uniformity, fan noise in bright modes, limited HDMI access, and average black levels. But when I'm playing a 120 FPS racer or watching animated films with the family lights on, those trade-offs fade into the background. That balance is what keeps me using it. In conclusion, the Epson Home Cinema 2350 feels like a living room first projector with legit gaming chops. It delivers an easy big screen upgrade, real color punch, and low lag play, while asking you to accept some optical and acoustic quirks. If that matches your priorities, it's a very satisfying pick. I will post full information about the Epson Home Cinema 2350 projector in the comments section. See you in the following videos.